Thank you so much for joining with us today. I hope all of you guys are doing really well. So today we are doing garden tour. We are filming garden tour, and we wanted to show you how everything is doing in the garden. It's been a long-awaited garden tour because we've been just keep working, and we wanted to do the garden tour before, but it was just impossible. And so, you know, with the either weather, it was either wind or it was something else going on, or anyway. But I would like to start from this side right here. And before I go into the garden tour, I wanted to let many of you guys know that our new subscribers, and maybe you're just not familiar with our story, is that we moved from Colorado, my husband and I, George, and we just started new life in France. So in fact, we just passed our test for a language test for residency, so we are very excited to start our residency process permanent residency process in France. So we are very excited about that, and when we moved here, I was very excited to start this garden, and it became bigger and bigger. And so anyway, there was nothing here previously. As you can see, all the new areas that I'm working on, basically the entire place was like this, like kind of a wilderness. And so everything that you see in this area has been developed within past 6 years. So the garden is really very young, so everything is new, etc. So I wanted to start in this area because this is the area that I started working on first. So there was nothing here, and a long time ago I found all these bricks that I lined the flower beds with. I found them leftovers, from building the house and the driveway. I believe that there was some leftovers, it was up there somewhere, and so I found them, and I started utilizing as much as everything that I could find within the property, start this garden. So here in this area, this is just a small strip of area where I have hybrid tea roses. I have a climbing rose here that's doing pretty good every year. I have a dahlia. I have boxwood globes here, 3 of them lined up to bring formality. Also, several hybrid teas. This is one of my favorite hybrid teas. We had lots of rain, so some things are just not going to look great. For example, like these guys, because they've been trying to bloom, but the rain just was keep falling and damaging a little bit. But this one called Mademoiselle Mayland, it's a beautiful, beautiful rose. I love this one. So we have a white one. I just planted a bare root one just recently. It should be yellow with the very large flowers. I'm really excited. It's doing really good. I just planted this maybe a couple of weeks ago. And then I have this other one. I can't remember the name of this one, but this is a very beautiful. It has a kind of a light creamy with a, like a pink centers. It's looking really, really pretty. So I started working in this area from the beginning. So it was nothing there. So I started here a little bit, and over time things changed and evolved. So I had annuals for a while, and then I decided to go with the boxwood, which I really like. And so anyway, we have a pina colada hydrangeas here. I have 3 different peonies, some dahlias I planted this spring, wanted to bring some color in this area. But pina coladas really made a big difference. This one is Melba, and this should go about 2 meters tall, I believe, and so it will fill up this area, and it's doing really, really pretty. I love how it's starting to come together. Last year I lost tree rose standard, so I replaced it with raspberry hydrangea piniculata, and you can see it's actually really nice because it's starting. I'll just go right this way, because it's starting already to turn the colors, which is quite early for the color of the to change the colors, but it's already turning. And I think it's because our evenings has been cool. So we had rain, it's cooling, you know, I think it was in 70s in fact. And so I think that helps to maybe turn the colors already. Anyway, it's an interesting. So everything is looking good. I have hanging basket here with petunias or bellflowers, and if hope I'm saying this correctly because we don't have proven winners here. So this one is beautiful begonia. And then starting right here, these are the containers that we planted this spring, and they did really good. The only thing it didn't survive was the salvia that I planted in the center of each pot. This one is still kind of trying to come up, but this one didn't make it. But it's okay because they all filled in nicely, and so they're looking okay. There's a bocuba and some begonias, white begonias here, looking really nice. So anyway, it's looking really good. This area is my woodland garden, so I started this part first. So let's just go this way, and then we'll come back here as we go. So these are campanulas, I believe, and some call it bloom flower, probably. They're beautiful. I love them. So I have this year. They're doing fantastic. So I have few here, and then some here. They're just, I love the group, how it's grouped here. They're doing really good. I may add more as I go. Some hanging baskets here. So I have an Ethiopian. This one is a Coral Louise, and the other one, I believe it's a Hillary. I have a rose tree. I have, this one is Wisteria standard tree. It's been struggling for a while. It actually bloomed really well this year, but I don't know, it may be chlorosis, I'm not sure. Or we also, in this spring, early this year, we got we got attacked with spider mites. They were in everything, literally, and I think part of it has a damage from that. But it's doing okay. It's been sprayed, so it's doing good. We have hybrid teas. I have a beautiful lilac tree. This is called Beauty of Moscow. It's a double flowered lilac, starts with the pink and then opens into white. Very beautiful. This spring was just beautiful, and it smelled amazing. And this area here, we have a hybrid tea. It's called Edith Piaf hybrid tea. Beautiful, deep red color. Has a deep red color to it. And I have planted strawberry sundae hydrangeas piniculadas this last fall, and I'm so glad I did that because this just looks to me really nice. It really needed something because I had irises here, the rose, and now hydrangeas are filling in. Love it. I think this was just really good idea. So and then I have a clematis here. This clematis called Henry. It's doing really good. I planted this one in a woodland part of the garden, but I noticed that it just wasn't doing really good, so I moved it into the sun a little bit. You can see that I'm protecting the base, but it seems like it's doing okay. It's much happier than where it was before. Hopefully it will, start growing. But anyway, I am trying to shade the base of the clematis because they really like their base or their roots to be in a cool and covered, and but the top they like to be in the sun. So I'm hoping that this will do much better here. So far so good. We'll see. Okay, so then let's just go, maybe let's just go start right there, because so I started this area first, then I worked my way. I think let's just go the way I started working in this garden. Then I started working my way kind of around this woodland area. Honestly, it was kind of a challenging area to work on because I had no idea how to work around these trees. And honestly, these trees are beautiful, large trees, and it really protects this part of the, because we sit here and have coffee, and we love it here. We love enjoying outdoors, and so the afternoon sun really comes this way, and it gets this area gets protected from the hot sun. These trees are protecting the terrace, and so they were critical for this area. So we were like, okay, how are we going to work on this area? And so I decided to cut into these little islands. And of course, any shady area, you guys, I'm a big hydrangea person. I love hydrangeas, are one of my top loved flowers, and so any shady area, I like plant hydrangeas. So I absolutely love it. And so I decided to just create a hydrangea garden in this area, because it's a shady area basically. I mean, it's it's not dark shade because there's a dappled sun, but it was perfect for hydrangeas, I think. Although they do get dry really quickly, unfortunately, because we have large trees and the roots are just, absorbing all the moisture very fast. So they really need lots of water here. So I started digging, and all of this soil is pretty much has been dug and has been modified or amended with some compost and manure, etc. And so I started digging. I have hydrangeas. This is a moped hydrangea, big leaf. We have stargazer, I believe this is. It's this year it's doing better. It's been struggling. I think I'm trying to increase water. It seems like it's liking it a lot more. I will not be able to tell you what kind of hostas they are because there was no labels. In France, I have a lot of times I find plants that just don't have labels on them, and so anyway, I want to say maybe guacamole. I'm not sure. Anyway, I have some annuals planted here. This is a shade impatiens that I planted all in one color because I think it just makes it kind of a beautiful drift here. I have planted some dahlias here that are trying to bloom. I think it's a little shady here for them, but they keep coming back and doing well, so I think I might just let them be for a little bit and see what happens. Then I planted here some azaleas. They're white, but they're doing really nice, and I wanted some kind of an evergreen specimen here or element, because sometimes when everything dies down, kind of wanted some kind of a evergreen structure here, so I decided to go with azaleas. I have planted another hydrangea, and some of the hydrangeas will not look that great this year, because we had an early frost this year. They started doing really good, and then we got hit with harsh frost, and most of them I can show you as I go. They just kind of burnt and didn't do well, although they did come back around, but just wasn't as good as last year. But then second, we had a very hot wind go through here. We had over 100-degree weather, and then very hard, very harsh hard wind for a few days, so that was not helpful at all to the plants. But I was trying to just give as much water as possible to have them survive the heat, so they're doing okay. Anyway, so we go this way. So I planted hydrangeas again, as I said. I have lots of hydrangeas because I love them. This is jasmine called Tuscan Sun. It's a beautiful yellow creamy flowers. It has a beautiful scent to it. Very lovely here. In these containers I have azaleas. They're evergreen, which is beautiful. Decided to keep them here. Rhododendron. It's white, I can't remember the name, but it's a white flowered rhododendron. I think it would be really beautiful in the spring, and I think if I planted this rhododendron this early season, and I believe they're already showing some buds for next year, which is lovely. Right here I planted two hydrangeas, oak leaf hydrangeas. They're called Alice. They're supposed to get quite big and hopefully fill up that area. They're new. They've been only planted last 2 years, I believe, so they're coming around. They're not doing too good, but slowly. They're doing better this year than they did last year, but they're just developing. So here we have moped hydrangea, and you can see some of the flowers are still doing pretty nice, and some of them are already, you know, aged and finishing here. So let's go this way. We have I have campanulas that I planted, and I love these guys. They are beautiful here. And my goal is to have them fill up this area and start spreading themselves and create a little hedge here. So when they bloom in the spring, it will be nice, beautiful purple color. This is a hardy fuchsia Sarah, blue Sarah. So they're still coming around. This one is azalea. I'm not sure what's going on here yet. They did flower really well, so we'll see how they do. It is possible that it might be indoor ones. Early on, when I wasn't really aware of all of the indoor and outdoor ones, because you know I always lived in a cold zone, which is Colorado, and so I'm just learning with the all the plants that are in warmer zones. So this one's possibly that I purchased when I didn't know a while back, but they're doing okay. So since they're happy, I'm not going to remove them. There is another blue Sarah here. I have lined here with impatiens. This is a beautiful rhododendron called Wine and Roses. Has a very nice kind of a fuchsia color flowers, and you can see they developed nice buds already for next year. These are all going to be flowers, but you can see undertones of these leaves are beautiful burgundy color. It just brings that much interest and beauty even without the flowers here. So this one is also very pretty. I planted early this season. Maybe you guys have seen the video. It's a white and yellow variety azalea, which I think it will get a little bit taller, but this is a beautiful one. I have another Ito peony here, which has been damaged by slugs pretty deeply. I need to put some bait down. And but this is a Cora Lewis variety. It bloomed beautifully this season, so doing really good. Then I started all of these beds, you guys. This is just a decorative. I just plant annuals every summer or fall, and I just keep a color here. This area is a very difficult area because it has lots of roots, so I was able to work whatever I could work into this bed. Okay, so of course I dug everything. It gets dry very quickly because the tree roots are basically absorbing as much moisture as possible. And but I do have some peonies are doing good. They're actually kind of bigger this year. 1, 2, 3, and I have another one. I have 4 peonies in this bed, and also I have an Ito peony, which I haven't seen the flowers yet since I've planted. I'm not sure exactly what variety this is, so hopefully when it blooms we'll see what it is. Lupin. I also have 3 different varieties of daylilies here, and this one is blooming. Look how pretty this is. It's a beautiful daylily, so quite large. Nuphofias, and I also have some irises. So this area was very hard because there is not a lot of soil there. It's very shallow. Irises do really well there, so I went ahead, and they're early blooming irises, so I went ahead and basically just planted as much irises as I could in a very shallower area, and then everything else as you know, towards the outskirts of the bed, it got a little deeper, so I was able to plant some other plants. But I did plant some dahlias, which were doing really good. They're coming around this spring to bring some color here. So slowly but surely it's coming all along. This bed here, I have some daylily. It's doing okay. I have another stargazer hydrangea here that's doing very pretty. I have peony here, and this is a herbaceous peony, but I also planted tree peony here. And this year, it was very small when I purchased this tree peony, and it's actually doing really good. It's liking this area because tree peonies don't like lots of sun. This is perfect area for it. So I have hellebores here. This is a moped hydrangea, which I purchased very early on when I was working in the gardens. Probably been here about good 5 years. So they're doing really good, getting really big. I have this one. Then I started creating this area of the garden. So this area, you guys, was nothing but vine. So it was just the vines, was covering all the ground. So I went ahead and started clearing all the vines and started outlining and digging. I had no idea what I was doing, but slowly but surely it's come together. You can see there's still quite a bit of work I have to do here, because I started lining with the bricks. I would like to line all the way around, and also on the other side of the circle I would like to finish my edges, which is not quite done yet. But this is an all working process, and you have to work. When you start a garden, you just have to go with your budget, little by little, just start working, and eventually it becomes really beautiful, but it takes time. So then this is our area, this is our property here, and then after this fence, this fence is actually not quite where our property line is. So our property line is, in fact, you can see this is where our fence is, just right here. So this is our neighbor's side. And anyway, what I'm going to do, you guys, if you have seen some of my videos, you could see that we've been working on, on this side of the area just in the last videos. And so I think this eventually will all be gone slowly. We will just kind of come this way and have something here, and then just continue on, our property line down this way. But since we are already here, you could see that this property, this part, you remember from my other videos that we just started working on it. My husband George really came to my rescue, because this was just a lot of work to dig this soil. He really started breaking the soil with the tiller, and then we came in with the pick. We started breaking because the ground was very hard. So I started lining with this bricks here, but then because of the hard wind, they kind of collapsed. So what I need to do is probably lay them down. Actually, we decided not even to straighten it out, just make it straight and even, and just lay them down like that. I think will give enough support. And then I ordered more of the these hardy geraniums Roseanne, which they are going to arrive in September, and I'm going to plant them here. So I will have more of this color in this area, because I think it will be beautiful with the yellow roses. And these are the David Austin roses, Poet's Wife. I have 4 that I planted here. Look, they're already doing really pretty. I was kind of keep looking and getting so excited to see this area develop, because this area has been just jungle for the longest time. Honestly, I didn't even know that I could even tackle this area, because it was just overwhelming to even look at it. But finally, from my previous experiences, I know all I have to do is just start somewhere, and then eventually, little by little you get there. But initially it's very overwhelming. So anyway, this area is coming along beautifully, and you can see the geranium Roseanne is starting to really come acclimate and start blooming with their beautiful purple blue colors, with the yellow roses and the blue salvias. I think this area is just going to be really, really, really pretty, really pretty. So, and then just to mention, since we are already here, you can see I started digging here already. So yesterday or day before, I started working on, because we had lots of rain after the wind, so I started digging. You can see I came about this far. I really want to take the advantage of soft ground and try to work my way up as much as possible, so I can start clearing this area, because I think this pathway will look look really beautiful when we develop both sides. It's just going to be very, very nice here. Anyway, this is a messy area. We have more of rocks to lift from this area. You can see there's some gravel, so there's quite a bit of a work to do here, but again, little by little it will come together. So let's go back to the garden, our garden. So eventually, you guys, all of this is going to go away, and we can decorate here and make everything much more beautiful. But even just looking through here, look how beautiful everything looks. I love to see all these layers of the hydrangeas. I think it just came out really beautiful. Hopefully they will start developing more, and as our budget allows, I can hopefully, you know, add more compost to the soil every year and cover them a little better, and because that helps with, you know, every little bit helps to for the health of the or development of the flowers. Okay, so yes, and everything just looking really pretty, but you can see some of this damage. Now this damage that you see, this is from the frost from last year, early on when everything, the hydrangeas had all the new growth, or suddenly we had a hard frost and it's just damaged the hydrangeas. But you can see they bounced back, they're doing good, and you know, there is some damage on them, but they're doing okay. So you can see right here quite a bit of damage from the frost. You can see the old ones, but look, we have a new leaves coming out. Oh, I have a slug right here that needs to go. I don't want him. Okay, so anyway, we have bloom flowers or campanulas here, and some Japanese anemones, and they were very tiny they're very small plugs. When I planted them, you know, a few years ago, it took them a long time to acclimate, but they are doing good this year. They're actually developing and they're looking really good. I'm hoping to get some good flowers this fall. I have a couple of tree peonies here, you guys, and these are absolutely gorgeous tree peonies. They bloomed this early season. Big, beautiful white flowers with the yellow centers. Hydrangea, and I have another. This is a climata. Yeah, thank you. So this is a climata, and I think it was. I'm trying to remember the name. Anyway, I will remember. It's like tip of my tongue, and I can't say it for some reason. So this climata is doing really good this year. It's loving it. Look, it's grown probably. Oh, it has grown quite a bit. So it likes it because, again, roots are in the shade, but it gets enough sun from this side, and I think it's doing good. And this side, we had a lot more pine trees from the neighbor's side, so the place got sold, you guys, and we have a new neighbors, very lovely, nice French neighbors. When they arrived, they got all their pine trees cut because they were very old and very dangerous, and I think that's what we are going to do slowly, one at a time, because it's quite expensive, but slowly we are going to remove ours as well. And I thought we might get too much sun here for the hydrangeas, but it's been really nice. It got quite a bit of a light, but not a lot of sun. So this climata is really liking it here, and I'm just letting him do its thing, and it's doing really good. So anyway, we have a hardy fuchsia Annabelle that I planted. They usually stay in a small side. They've been here only maybe 2 years or so. They were very small when I purchased them. Most of my plants I purchase very small. A lot of the times either I order them online or from the nurseries. I hardly ever buy a really big plant because they're very expensive. I buy small and let them develop. It takes a little time, but it's actually kind of fun to watch them develop. It's beautiful. So this is one of my favorite hydrangeas. It doesn't look great this year, but the last couple of years has done much better, and I think it's probably due to the frost again, early frost that we had. But I know it will do beautiful. I love them. I don't know why. Maybe it just has those white centers, just really pretty. So we have hellebore, and I just transplanted 2 of these hydrangeas from this side because we are doing completely something else there. And we have tree peony. We have a Ito peony Bartzella right here, and it's a beautiful, beautiful peony. It's a yellow, creamy yellow, very stunning peony. Ito peonies are my favorite. I have several in my garden. I recommend them. They're if you like peony, Ito peonies are amazing. I have hellebores, and I have I planted another hydrangea stargazer, and they're very, very pretty. So they're coming along. Again, they suffered from the frost, early frost, which very unusual for our area because everything was already, blooming. But it's all looking really good. And I particularly love my containers this year because hydrangeas are looking really pretty in the containers this year. They're just doing so good with that. Here, this jasmine, this one has blooms, and you can see has a beautiful creamy yellow Tuscan sun and smells amazing. Yes, I love this one, and it's very beautiful. But anyway, you guys, I think we have to do this in 2 parts because it's getting really, really long. So we just covered this area, and then we'll do part 2 and cover the rest because it's quite long. And so hope you guys enjoyed this video. Anyway, please don't forget to subscribe to my videos if you like my videos. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.